Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word, the podcast that explores the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Our word of the day is bias. It's a B2 level noun, and it means a preference or prejudice for or against something. Think of it as a leaning, a tendency to favor one thing over another, often unfairly. So, bias is that inclination, that slant that can color our judgment. It's something we all possess, whether we're aware of it or not. It's important to remember that having a bias doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It just means you have a perspective, a way of seeing things that's shaped by your experiences, your upbringing, and your beliefs. The problem arises when that bias leads to unfair treatment or discrimination. Now, let's dive deeper and explore some synonyms for bias. A close synonym is prejudice. Prejudice implies a preconceived judgment or opinion, often negative and based on incomplete or inaccurate information. For example, the company was accused of racial prejudice in its hiring practices. Another synonym is favoritism. Favoritism means showing special preference or giving unfair advantages to someone or something. For instance, the teacher was accused of favoritism towards students who agreed with her opinions. We can also use the word inclination, which means a natural tendency or urge to act or feel in a particular way. An example is, he had an inclination towards supporting local businesses. Another great synonym is predilection. Predilection signifies a strong liking or preference for something. For example, she has a predilection for classical music. And finally, we have leaning, which simply suggests a tendency to favor something. His leaning towards environmental issues influenced his voting decisions. Now, let's look at antonyms, words that have opposite meanings to bias. One antonym is fairness. Fairness implies treating everyone equally and impartially. For example, the judge was known for her fairness and impartiality. Another antonym is objectivity. Objectivity means basing opinions or decisions on facts rather than personal feelings or beliefs. For example, journalists strive for objectivity in their reporting. We also have impartiality. Impartiality suggests being neutral and unbiased in judgment or treatment. The mediator maintained impartiality throughout the negotiation. Another antonym is neutrality. Neutrality signifies not supporting or favoring either side in a conflict or dispute. For example, Switzerland is famous for its political neutrality. And finally, equality. Equality means treating everyone the same, regardless of their differences. For example, the principle of equality demands equal opportunities for all. Let's look at how we can use bias in everyday life. Imagine you're choosing a restaurant. If you always pick the Italian place because you've had great experiences there, that's a bias towards Italian food. Or, if you're listening to the news and you only watch channels that align with your political views, that's a confirmation bias. It's important to be aware of these biases so we can make more informed decisions. Here are some example sentences using bias. The study showed a clear bias in favor of the new drug. The editor admitted that the article had a bias towards environmentalism. It's difficult to be completely free of bias when judging someone's character. The selection committee had a bias towards candidates with prior experience. Her bias against modern art was evident in her harsh criticism. The company tried to eliminate gender bias in its promotion process. The teacher acknowledged her unconscious bias and worked to correct it. Media bias can significantly influence public opinion. He accused the referee of showing bias towards the home team. The survey results were skewed due to sampling bias. So, to recap, bias is a preference or prejudice, often unfair, for or against something. We explored synonyms like prejudice, favoritism, inclination, predilection, and leaning, and antonyms such as fairness, objectivity, impartiality, neutrality, and equality. Understanding bias is crucial for critical thinking and fair judgment in our daily lives. Thank you for joining me on Hello Word today. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you did, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others find the show and expand their vocabulary too. Don't forget to create your own sentence using the word bias and share it in the comments below. I look forward to reading your examples. Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring the wonderful world of words.